Hi, good evening. Today is October 20th, 2019. My name is Olawale Okabola, Spartacus Trading Corporation. It's approximately 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Here to bring you a report, prep report. I'm sorry, prep report for October 21st, which will be Monday, New York Pit. This is for the S&P E-mini. Let's go. All right. On the monthly, looking at the monthly chart, we're one time framing lower 1 month. Important reference is to continue to watch this October's open. I put out several videos talking about October's open, so I'm going to just bypass the importance of that just to make it real simple and to keep it watered down. If we are trading below October's open, we are lower in relative for the month relative to the open. Simple logic. If we're up, we're up. Okay. Also, we got this excess low we can maintain above October's open. That is an excess low. What does an excess low tell you? Possibility, chances, odds, whatever, that we are going to trade higher in the months to come. On the weekly, we are in a, I'm looking forward 1 week. So we're in a 13-week balance area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And when we open, provided we don't gap above last week's high or low, that will be 13. So that will give us a 13-week balance area. Within that 13 week, we have a 5 week, 1, 2, 3, 4. We open 5, and also a 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2. You get it. So what do we have? Balance upon balance. Within this longer term balance of 13 weeks, we are trading above the halfway mark of that balance area. Coming into this week, we'll open initially in balance. So you want to keep track of the 2 week half back. You take the high and the low of last week divided by 2. That gives you the 2 week half back. That should give you a gauge of where are we trading within the balance of the week. Now, if we make a new high and come back in, then we have a new 2 week balance area, high and low. So you got to recalculate that. I'm sure you guys know that. So I'm going to move on. On the daily, we are one time framing lower 1 day. However, we are in a 4 day, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 day balance area. The critical reference in regards to this 4 day balance area, the critical reference is the 4 day half back. And I'll go to the profiles and show you right now. Okay, this was last week's action. Looking at the profiles. Well, I could talk about it now, I guess. On Friday's morning report, I talked about how there were a lot of stops that were forming. Let me get rid of these lines real quick. All right. I talked about this level. That was a level of stops that kept accumulating for the past couple of days since the, I guess, the 15th overnight. You can see for yourself. You get these lows. What are they putting? Stops. You get these lows. You get these lows. What are they putting? Stops. And then coming into Friday's session, I talked about how the at that time it was the overnight low and it turned out to be the overnight low. I think I call it the proposed overnight low, but the overnight low, if you draw this line across, you can see the pattern. I said if we get below the overnight low, we can start to go after these stops and hit these stops. So if you look at the Friday's action, it is a no, my traders know, it is a no-brainer that the market sold off. At this time, the market was proposing a double distribution. But those who were at least with me and understood what's going on, you knew that was nothing but a whole bunch of stops being hit. What did the market do after the stops were hit? The market slowly started to rotate higher, which showed you that there was not any new money selling as the market was going down. So once all the sellers dried up, buyers re-entered and brought the market back higher. However, they did one thing, and they left some prints in the snow. This level is my, as I'm going to call it, a mini pullback low. I want to pay attention to this level because what did they do? On the last sell off from Friday, from M and N period, they bought right back here. Where did they buy? Right back there. What happens? Basically, they're reestablishing this area where a whole lot of stops would accumulate. What do you think? You now know who's the buyers. And if this market trades higher, if they do not get what they want to see, what are they going to begin to do? And those buyers who don't understand what this glass house or this sand castle is built upon, is built on sand, then we can get another liquidation. People will interpret this as support. That's fine. But if these buyers, you know who the buyers are now. We're not talking numbers. We're just talking simple psychology. If these buyers can't get what they want, now look at the proposed overnight low for now, right? All in the same area. Will you be surprised Monday if we get lower value and we trade below and stay below and begin to challenge the gap? Will you be surprised? I wouldn't. Also, to the upside, there's also some stocks, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. So you just want to make you aware if your bias is long, this is just a warning. You want to take those quick hits and get out. Unless the only thing that would negate what's going on here, if we get a double distribution or perhaps a gap that holds, a double distribution being during the day, tomorrow during the pit, we get a double distribution that holds, that negates all of this. See you later. We'll deal with you next time. Or you get a gap coming into the morning and the gap holds. If we close the gap, all it does is just reactivate this. Also, what could suspend this liquidation? One time framing higher. One time framing higher would definitely allow that to be suspended. The reason why I'm spending more time is because once again, they're doing the same thing. So hopefully this time you can use it to profit if you were unable to profit from it on Friday. It's back on once again. All right, bringing back my reference. So I'm paying attention to this pullback low. It's really a mini pullback low. I'm paying attention to that reference. You have the weekly settle, and you also got October's open that I talked about. If there's any change, right? Remember now, we're one time framing lower. If there's any change to the direction of the market, you have the 4-day half back right here, and that is at 91 3/4. You can see right here, somewhere 91, somewhere like that. That's the halfway mark of this 4-day balance area. So with you having it on your chart, you can begin to visualize where are you in this balance area. You know that, okay, we possibly have something to the upside if we begin to trade above this 4-day balance area, and value, not price, but value is at a minimum higher or overlapping to higher of this 4-day half back. Really what you want to see is higher value above that 4-day half back. Higher value would give us at least overlapping the higher value, if not higher value. That means that the market is either doing one or two things: one time framing, which is elongating value, one time framing up, or we have a double distribution, or we have a gap. If value is below the 4-day half back, you know, you can visualize where you are in the 4-day range. And you also now armed with the information I just provided you of what's going on under 84.75. So it's just a matter of how do you execute to take advantage and hold on, bite down on your mouthpiece and hold on. And hopefully you can get down here and see what happens. It might not happen to Monday, it probably happen during the week. Who knows? But you know what's here, and you just, whenever it's time, you're well aware and you understand what's going on. You'll be able to hold on to a trade a little longer. But what you need to see, if you're in early, some one-time framing, the market act like it wants to go and get these stops. Okay. Once again, nothing changes from this pullback at least trying to demonstrate going up, nothing changes unless we breach this pullback. If we breach this pullback, if you're looking for this trade, you're late. You're late. You don't want to be a seller right here. I mean, you who sells at the lows? You know, you want to get in before there, but it's very tricky. So at least you're on with the information. Execution comes down to you. But here at Spartacus Trading Corporation, we teach our traders how to execute on what we see. All right, folks, that's all I got. This is Olawale Okabola with Spartacus Trading Corporation, wishing you a good night. Talk to you guys tomorrow.